In this video, you'll learn the method that our client Savannah used to eliminate her reactive hypoglycemia, stabilize her blood sugar, and get pregnant without cutting out carbs and without obsessing over every meal. And Savannah came to us at her lowest point. She was dizzy, she was exhausted, she was overwhelmed. Her blood sugar was dropping like clockwork anywhere from 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. And that occurred no matter how she ate, even if she was eating balanced meals. And movement made her feel worse, not better. And this was happening over the course of 2 years. And like I said, she was already eating clean, she was exercising, she was following all of the traditional guidelines, yet she had symptoms that included brain fog, almost like this floaty type of drunk, hungover feelings, especially at work, and anxiety about eating, and even waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning. And I think the worst thing about that for her too is just she wasn't getting any answers. She met with other dietitians and nutritionists who were just like, yeah, you're doing everything right. There's nothing that we could see that could be causing this. And that left her with a sense of hopelessness, right? Hey, nothing is wrong. Like, why am I still having these symptoms? And I think for her, it came to a point where maybe this is just how it's going to be, and it's really going to impact my day to day. And I think that's how a lot of clients feel, because we have so many with forms of hypoglycemia that have been experiencing that for like years, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years we've seen. And so it's not a surprise to me that Savannah had a similar experience as well, where she's not getting the answers. It's not showing up on our blood work. It's not showing up on our labs. Nothing seems to be off, yet something is really off based on our symptoms that she's experiencing. I'm Isaac Pullman, registered dietitian, a fellow person with type 1 diabetes, and the CEO of the Pullman Institute, where our team has helped over 500 clients around the world balance their blood sugar, lower their A1C, and restore their health for good. And if you're ready to balance your blood sugar, lower your A1C without cutting out carbs, without relying on medication, comment or message me the word interest and we'll show you how. When we first started working with Savannah, she was skeptical, understandably so, because she had tried everything. She had worked with other dietitians before. She was following their standard recommendations like eating small, frequent meals, but these didn't really resolve her symptoms. She was told that she was already doing everything right, which of course left her feeling hopeless. She did her own research through Google, as many people do, just to gain more insight into what was causing these symptoms. She did clean eating, healthy meals. She already had a solid health foundation even before starting with us. She tried staying active, hiking, weightlifting, but those seemed to only worsen her symptoms, especially over time as her hypoglycemia symptoms got worse. She developed a list of like safe foods, and so really restricting her diet around the foods that she felt like she didn't react to. And it felt like her life really revolved around food and food timing. And then what was even more confusing was a lot of those like safe foods that once worked for her now were triggering more of these like hypoglycemic symptoms. And so for her, that led to constant clock watching, especially in her job as a therapist, where she wanted to try to prevent these symptoms as much as possible, making sure that she was eating consistently so it didn't happen. And really her whole health journey became like this survival mode, especially during the work weeks. And the big thing for her is it was really affecting her job to the point where she felt like she wasn't doing her best work because of her inability to focus, where her mind was preoccupied with symptoms or when are those symptoms going to show up? And so a big thing for her outside of just supporting her health was supporting the mental health of her clients. And she felt like in the position that she was in with the hypoglycemia, with the symptoms, she just wasn't able to do that to the degree that she knew she could. And really what she was missing was validation from someone who's been there, someone who's worked with people with reactive hypoglycemia, understanding why those symptoms were coming up, especially for her when she had a decent foundation with her nutrition, with her lifestyle. She's doing all the things already. What was she missing? But what she hadn't had was someone that actually understood reactive hypoglycemia, understood her symptoms, where they were coming from, why they were coming up, even with her having a decent nutrition health background. And so here's what we did within the Pullman method to eliminate her reactive hypoglycemia. There was a few things that we focused in on for Savannah. The first one was mindset. And for 100% of the people that we work with reactive hypoglycemia, one of the biggest things that we see is their mindset headed into meals, whether it's conscious or not. They will admit that it's a part of their psyche, where they go into a meal and they feel more anxious. They're thinking, hey, am I going to react to this meal? Is this going to cause a crash? When is this going to cause a crash? What do I have on the other side that's going to help to get me back up from that crash? They're constantly thinking and they're constantly observing and seeing, okay, which variables in this meal are going to potentially make me crash and what can I remove? What do I need to add? They're constantly thinking of how can I perfect this meal so it has less of a chance to crash my blood sugar. And when you're coming from it from that perspective, for many people, whenever they eat, they have that in the back of their minds, right? And that is very similar to like you trying to drive a car and just constantly telling yourself that you're going to crash. I'm going to crash. I'm going to crash. I'm going to crash. And you get up really tight, right? Your shoulders get up tight. You're driving with the steering wheel like this. And the more that you focus in on the potential bad that can come from a situation, the more likely that you are going to attract that. You're not driving to your full capacity, right? You're fixating what's going wrong. And when you're fixated on that, bad things tend to happen. So same thing with meals. You're entering a space where you're focusing in on how your body's going to react and you're uptight. When you're uptight, you're producing more stress hormones. You're more anxious, right? And it's going to drive your blood sugars even lower because of the way that you're approaching that meal. So what we often tell our clients when they're experiencing this is you really have to adjust the way that you think. Even if you're reacting the same way, you really have to adjust the way that you think about it. Otherwise, from the moment that you take your first bite, you're going to be set up for low blood sugar. For Savannah, we really worked on that mindset prior to the meal, really focusing on how nourishing that food was going to be for her body, how stabilizing that food was going to be, how that was going to help her to not only just get through her therapy clients, but actually thrive, do well with her clients, help them make more breakthroughs, right? So it was a huge thing for her. Secondly, we focus on personalization, particularly when it comes to her biofeedback, or what's really the signs that your body is giving you, whether something is working or not. And when you're at the level that Savannah is, when you already have that health foundation, you're eating well, you're active, you're doing all the right things, but yet your blood sugar is still off, you really need personalization. There's no way around it. I think with the practitioners that she has seen before, they did the best with what they knew how. But if we are not getting to know the person on the other end, their life, their routines, what makes them tick, right? You are missing the most essential piece to be able to stabilize someone's blood sugar level, right? At this stage, it's not about eating healthy or eating clean. Like, we're beyond that at this point. What we want to know is what your body responds best to with your nutrition, with your lifestyle, and have concrete evidence of that. So we're doubling down on the things that are working. And when we double down on those things that are working, well, all of a sudden the symptoms disappear. Your blood sugar starts to stabilize. You don't get as many crashes, right? For Savannah, she's able to function at work for longer periods of time, go without food for longer periods of time. This is a huge piece to be able to nourish your body back so it has the ability to stabilize your blood sugar for longer. And with anybody with reactive hypoglycemia, there are what's known as a sugar burner, meaning when their body runs out of sugar energy or carbohydrate energy, your body has energy crisis because it doesn't have the ability to adjust from processing carbs to processing another macronutrient like fat for energy. And when it's not able to do that, you're going to get signs and symptoms of a lack of energy. And that's what Savannah was experiencing anytime she was having a crash. And that's what everybody with reactive hypoglycemia experiences when they have a crash. They don't have enough energy left to fuel their body, hence symptoms like dizziness, lightheadedness, feeling that cloudy, drunken, hungover feeling, not able to exercise. And so all of those stem from a lack of consistent energy. And the last thing what we focused on was to build her resilience so that whenever she ate something, even if it was something that she previously reacted to, her body would still be able to maintain stability through that. Even if it was white rice, even if it was oatmeal, even if it was fruit, all these types of carbohydrates that she was previously reacting to quite strongly, she could eat without worry. And that's what it really takes to be able to fully eliminate reactive hypoglycemia is not just, oh, we're going to focus on the foods that don't cause blood sugar crashes. Let's bring those back in and see the solid foundation that we can form even when you're having those. And so what we did was we gave her the Pullman Lab Bundle, which is a set of nutrient-based labs that allow us to pinpoint exactly where those nutrient deficiencies, where those imbalances are popping up, and really address them, one, with nutrition, more targeted nutrition, so she's getting in the right nutrients, but also two, and this is often the most important, often most missed, is it's not about just taking in more. It's not about just like supplementing a certain nutrient. It's about how can you help your body hold on to that nutrient so that you actually get the benefits of it, right? And the first nutrient that was off was calcium. And calcium is an essential nutrient, but for her, based on what's called her HTMA test, it was very high. And when it's very high like this, it means your body is very insulin dominant, meaning you need a lot of insulin to prevent a spike in blood sugar. And when your body's constantly releasing more and more insulin, you might be able to take care of a spike in blood sugar, but it always comes down. And that's what those crash symptoms that she was experiencing were stemming from, this high calcium value. Whenever you have a high calcium as well, it affects, of course, your blood sugar, but it also affects your thyroid. And that was part of the reason why she was feeling so depleted, especially when she started doing exercise. She wasn't able to maintain that stability in her energy, and it left her more depleted afterwards. As a part of that, we also found she had a low adrenal ratio. For someone with reactive hypoglycemia, they might have a lot of insulin circulating. That doesn't mean, though, that they're going to automatically have a low blood sugar. What determines that, in part, is your adrenal health. And if it's up to par, we can help to prevent that because our body will start to kick in, produce more stress hormones, so we don't get a blood sugar crash and we don't get symptoms. But when your adrenal ratio is as low as it is for her, it's almost like there is no stop. We don't have any ability to stop the crashes. And that's what leads to many people having these crashes and not being able to prevent them, even when they're doing all the things right. So this was really huge for her as well. The big last piece that we saw was that she had a lot of stored iron. And iron is an essential nutrient, but when we store a lot of it away, it leads to more crashes, right? And so this was really preventing her, one, from being able to stabilize her blood sugar for good, no matter what kind of carbs that she was having. But also when we think about her goals as well, and I didn't mention this, she wanted to get pregnant as well. But if she had the inflammation on her body from the high iron, if she had the erratic blood sugar that she started out with, it was not going to be a sustainable pregnancy or a healthy pregnancy. And so these were the areas that we addressed for her. And after utilizing the Pullman method, what we found was Savana was able to stabilize her blood sugar even while eating the exact foods that she previously reacted to without any issues. So she completely eliminated her reactive hypoglycemia. She stopped waking up at 3 a.m. with blood sugar crashes. She's sleeping through the night. She got rid of her that drunk hungover feeling and was able to regain that mental clarity, where she's now working fully in her job without any issues, without any symptoms. She went from hyperfixation on food to not even thinking about it, forgetting that she even had to deal with low blood sugars. And that's the thing that we see so often too. It's so funny that clients will have lows every single day. And then 3-6 months in, they're like, they don't even think about it because it's gotten so normalized for them. So that was so huge. For her, she has gotten back into exercise. She has rebuilt her energy. She has rebuilt her resilience so that she can tolerate exercise. She can tolerate weightlifting and hiking without crashing, without snacking. She got pregnant as well and has sustained a healthy pregnancy. So I know that was such a huge goal for her, even beyond the blood sugars. And so the fact that she did it while she was in the program just speaks to her commitment to it as well. And then finally, she just feels safe in her body again. She's not thinking so much about her blood sugar, about her health, about her food. She finally has that control back without obsessing over everything. And so if you are ready to eliminate your blood sugar crashes, get your energy back, get your freedom back, really allow your body to heal naturally, comment or message me the word interest and we'll show you how.